Episode 8 خلق 8 Captain Silver باشه که in the enemy's camp the North Camp با دشمن.
Now, Jim, you have come to visit us. That is nice.
I said nothing but looked Silver in the face.
I have always liked you. Your friends won't take you back after this, unless you are going to start a third group of men on your own. You will have to join us.
So my friends were alive. If I have the freedom to choose, I think you should tell me what's going on and where my friends are.
Yesterday, Dr. Livesey came here with a white flag to speak to me. He told me that the ship had gone and we didn't have any food. So he suggested that we should make a bargain with him, and that is what we did. So here we are with the supplies, brandy, log house, and firewood. I don't know where they are now.
Well, you have gotten a ship, the treasure is lost, men have died, and everything has gone wrong. And if you want to know who did it, it was I. I was in the apple barrier the night we first saw Treasure Island, and I heard everything you said, and I told everything to my friends. I cut the anchor from the ship and killed the men on board her and hid her somewhere where you will never find her. Kill me if you want, or save me. But if you save me, I will forget all this and support you when you are in court for piracy. For a moment there was silence as they all just looked at me.
In your black duck.
Said one of men.
And it was the same boy who got the map from Billy Bones.
Added Silver. At this moment, another man jumped up with a knife and said,
Then I'm going to kill him. Stop, man.
Silver said,
You're not the captain. I like that boy. He's better than all of you. I say he stays alive. You have chosen me to be captain. If you do like me, you know what to do then.
Or would any man, Jacoby, care to give me an argument to the contrary? Before this crew takes any more orders from you, Long John, we claim their rights to step outside for the council. According to rules. Aye, folks of council.
After a short silence, the men went outside to hold a council. The men walked out one by one, leaving Silver and me alone. And they were gone for some time.
Jim Hawkins, you could die now. We are in a lot of trouble, but I will do my best to save you, Jim. But see, Jim, then you have to save me from being hanged. I will do what I can.
I thought for a moment and then promised that I would do what I could for him.
And there is something else, Jim. The doctor has given me the treasure map. Why do you think he did that?
Huh? My mouth fell open, which shows Silver that he didn't need to ask me more questions.
Episode 8 خلق 8 بخش 2 The Black Spot Again جالکادی خالارش که به جال سرنویسی بودی پاست.
The door opened and the 5 men came back inside, and nervously one of them gave Silver a piece of paper, the black spot. And I remember the captain's fear of the black spot long ago back in the Admiral, Bimbo.
Step up, lad. I won't hurt no
Silver
member of
turned
the
over
enemy.
the small dark piece of paper and then said,
The black spot will shiver my timbers. Belay that talk, John Silver. This crew has tipped you the black spot in full council. The rules is you turn it over in duty bound and see what's wrote there. Thank you, George. You always was brisk for business.
What does it say?
Deposed. And very pretty wrote. Your handwriting, George? You getting quite a leading hand in this here crew. You'll be captain next, I shouldn't wonder. You can't fool this crew no more, John Silver. Step down off your perch and vote.
Well, I'm still your captain until you tell me why you are unhappy, and I reply. After that, we will see. Well, first, you have made a mess of this voyage, replied George Mary. Second, you let the enemy out of here for nothing. Third, you wouldn't let us shoot as they were leaving. Why did they want out? I don't know. But I know that is what they wanted. And finally, there is this boy, said George Murray. Well, I made a mess of this voyage, did I? You know that I didn't want to attack them until the treasure had been found, and we were on our way back to England. If you had listened to me, we would all still be on Hispaniola. Every one of us would be alive, and there would be food and drink and treasure on board. But you men wouldn't do what I told you. Because of what you have done, we could all hang. And isn't this boy a hostage? He might be our last chance. Kill that boy? No, I wouldn't. Second, the doctor comes here every day to look after that big cut on your head, John. And give you medicine, George Mary. And there is another ship coming, and it is not so long until then. We will see who will be glad to have a hostage when that time comes. Third, you asked me to bargain, and if I hadn't made a bargain, we would all have starved. And finally, this is why I did. It's the real map, complete with the 3 red crosses. The mutineers jumped on the map like 5 cats on a mouse. They were so excited that they would have thought they were actually getting their hands on the gold itself. This is all very good, but how are we going to get away without a ship? You and the others men lost as the ship. and I got asked the treasure. Who is the better man? I have had enough. Choose yourself another captain.
And now, by thunder, I resign. Elect anyone you please to be your captain. I've done with thee.
Silver forever!
Silver forever!
They cried.
Take it back, George Merry, and tear it up.
Episode 8 حلقه 8 بخش 3 Doctor's Visit سرطان دکتر.
The next morning, I was woken up by someone shouting, "Where is the doctor? We have a surprise for you, sir." As the doctor came into the log house, he nodded his head towards me and then started to look after the two sick men. When he had finished, he asked to speak to me before he left. And I promised Silver that I wouldn't run away. Then he agreed to let me go outside to talk with Dr. Livesey. Jim Hawkins, do you give me your word that you won't run away? I promise. Dr. Livesey, go and wait for me down by the fence, said Silver.
Stand by here while I parleys with him, and keep a sharp lookout on all sides. I'll keep a weather eye out for a man what's trying to get a foot in each camp, and him with only one leg. You'd better come back with them, the hostage, Captain Silver.
The other men were very angry and argued against it, but we walked down to meet the doctor.
I'll be honest and open with you, as I always am. I bain't no coward, Doctor, but the thought of them there gallows gives me the shakes.
And Silver said to him,
Doctor, I saved the boy's life and was nearly deposed for it. He will tell you so. Surely you will have a good word to say about me. I will be honest, I don't want to be hanged.
I want to speak with the boy alone. Speak and welcome, and make a note of that.
Then he left us and walked some distance away.
One false move and they'll fire.
Jim, you waited until Captain Smollett was ill and could do nothing, and then you ran away. That was very cowardly.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I think I'm going to die anyway. I would have been dead by now if Silver hadn't saved me.
Then quick, let us run away. One jump when you are out.
No, I gave my word and I must stay. But I will tell you one thing in case I do die. I have got the ship, partly by luck and partly by risking my life. She lies in the North Inlet.
The ship?
I then quickly explained everything that had happened.
At every step, it has been you who saved our lives. We won't let you lose yours. And finding Ben Gunn was the best thing you have ever done. Silver,
The doctor called him.
I will give you some advice. Do not be in a hurry to get that treasure. And when you find it, expect trouble. What do you mean by that?
Asked Silver.
I can't say anymore. That is not my secret. But I will try my best to save you. Keep the boy close to you. When you need help, just shout. Thank you.
You couldn't say more, not if you was my mother.
Heaven forbid. Good luck to you.
Episode 8 بخش 4 The Search for the Treasure گریان لینجینه.
Let's go. I didn't trust Silver. It was with a heavy heart that I tied to a length of a rope that Silver was holding. I followed the men when they went up the hill to look for the bulk of the treasure near Spyglass Hill. The men were all carrying several weapons each, and some were also carrying shovels, pickaxes, and food supplies. The men followed the detailed instructions on the back of the treasure map. We crossed swamp and woodland and then climbed up towards the flat top of the spyglass.
Mind what I say, Master Arkin. And don't try to pry the coop again. Appearances, matey, appearances. March now, you little spritzo. There she be. Come on, come on.
One of the men in front suddenly screamed out in fear. Near a tree, he had found a skeleton lying unnaturally straight.
Like enough, you wouldn't look to find a bishop here.
With his arms pointing up above his head. Silver thought for a moment and then asked one of the men to take a compass bearing. The body pointed from Skeleton Island to Spyglass Hill. Then Silver said,
I thought so. Flint left his body here as a pointer to the treasure. Oh, what a terrible man, Flint.
The men were much quieter after that, and they walked closer together. All of a sudden, from the trees in front of us, came a thin, high voice singing the words
15 men on a
well.
dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
I have never seen men more frightened than those pirates.
Oh, it is Flint's ghost.
Cried one of them.
Shipmates, I'm going to get that treasure, and no man will stop me whether he is dead or alive.
After a few words from Silver, the men agreed to go on. Then we looked for the tall tree marked on the map where the treasure lay buried. They now walked faster, and Silver was full of excitement. I knew that all Silver wanted was the treasure and to get away from the island, and that he would kill anyone who stood in his way. As we came near the great tree, the men began to run, and then they stopped suddenly. In front of us was a great hole not recently made. And very little else, the treasure that lay under the first of the red crosses on the map had been found and taken.
Episode 8 نشه będzie The End of the Fight. Ty mojego szajcie.
The pirates, swearing and shouting, jumped into the hole and started to dig with their hands.
It's gone! Gone? Pig! Rip it up, you swabs!
One finally found a single piece of gold. In the meantime, Silver had recovered quickly from the shock. He quietly passed me a pistol and whispered in a friendly way,
Jim, take that pistol and be ready for trouble.
So you've changed sides again.
Then, taking me with him, he moved slowly to the other side of the hole. The pirates, finding nothing more, climbed out of the hole opposite us. George Mary shouted at Silver,
This is the treasure, is it?
He turned and spoke to the other 4 pirates.
Now, mates, I say we kill them. Let us kill them,
Said George Mary. At that moment, there came the sound of muskets firing, and Mary fell into the pool. And another drew down dead. And the remaining 3 men ran away. In a moment, Silver had shot George Mary again and killed him. The Doctor, Gray, and Ben Gunn then came out of the trees to join us. And the 3 other men ran away.
Thank you kindly, Doctor. You came in the nick of time for our kinsman, Ben Gunn.
How do, Mr. Silver? Pretty well, I thank ye, says you.
Ben, to think 'twas you that done me.
What happened to Flint's gold, says you? Ben Gunn's cave, says I.
As we walked down to the boats, the Doctor told us what had happened. Ben Gunn, during his long time on the island, had found the skeleton, and then the treasure. He had dug it up and carried it, load after load, on his back to a cave he had found on the other side of the island. When the Doctor had heard this and had seen that ship had gone, he realized that the map was useless. He went to Silver and gave him the map and the supplies, because he knew that the best place to be was in the secret cave, with the treasure and Ben Gunn's food supplies. When Dr. Livesey saw that I was with the mutineers, he had run as fast as he could to be ready at the hole with Ben Gunn. When we got to the boats, the Doctor used a pickaxe to break up one boat, so as not to be used by the pirates. And then we all climbed into the other and started to row the 8 or 9 miles to the North Inlet.
It's the Squire! Hip hip!
As we got close, we came around a hill. We saw the black mouth of Ben Gunn's secret cave. The Squire was standing there, looking after the treasure. He didn't look pleased to see Long John Silver.
Silver, you again?
We found Captain Smolin laying by a fire inside the cave, and behind him I could see a very large pile of gold coins.
Mr. Silver.
John Silver. Now, what
have you got to say for yourself?
Well, sir, by your leave, sir, John Silver's come back to do his duty. And happy I am to think, sir, that I had some small hand in saving young Master Arkins when he was within half a plank of death.
And does that clear you of the crime of mutiny?
Please, sir, he did save my life.
Jim's right. Silver kept his side of the bargain.
Then you're both free to testify on his behalf. He'll have a fair trial in England.
Ah, so this is Flint's treasure. How much pain, how much sadness and blood it had cost, and how many ships had been sunk because of this treasure, and cannons shot, and lies told. No one could say how much, and how much, and how much. That night, I ate a wonderful meal with all my friends around me. We ate Bengani's salted goat and had some wine from the Hispaniola. And there was Silver sitting and laughing as the same friendly, helpful, smiling sea cook we had left Bristol with.
Episode 8 بشه The Return Home زوریان نبر بومال.
The next morning, we started to work moving the treasure to the Hispaniola. It was hard work, and one of us had to stand with a gun on the hill to watch for the last 3 mutineers. Day after day, this work went on. We heard the remaining mutineers once only singing and shouting in the distance.
It's the mutineers. They're singing.
We must leave them on the island. We cannot risk taking them with us.
Good!
So we decided that we must leave them on the island.
We left enough powder and shot, most of the good meat, and some medicines and other useful things for them.
We left enough powder and shot, most of the goat meat, some medicines, and other useful things for them. Then we prepared the ship, pulled up the anchor, and started to move out of North Inlet. The 3 men must have been watching us more carefully than we thought. As we came out of the inlet, they were on the beach. They were on their knees and were calling out to us, asking to be saved. The doctor shouted to them and told them where they could find the supplies we had left.
We want to
but they continued to shout,
For God's sake!
Be merciful!
Don't leave us here to die!
And then one of them fired a shot. Slowly, they disappeared from sight. And by midday, the highest stroke of the treasure island had grown small and sank into the blue sea. The sun was just sinking down into the water when we dropped our anchor in a beautiful Mexican bay. Many small boats came out to us, full of people, selling many different types of colorful food and vegetables. The sight of so many smiling faces, the taste of such amazing fruit, and the lights that had begun to shine in the town were a wonderful change from our dark and dangerous time on the island. The doctor and the squire decided to go ashore for the evening, and they took me with them. When we returned, Silver had gone and had taken one of the bags of the coins with him. I think we were all pleased that we had got rid of him so cheaply.
Goodbye, Mary. Good luck, Dewey.
He took a sack of gold coins.
Actually, I'm glad we got rid of him so cheaply.
To cut a long story short, we found a few more sailors had a good voyage home, and the Hispaniola reached Bristol in the late summer.
Of all those who sailed,
Only 5 men who had
returned.
sailed from Bristol returned with the ship.
Drink and the devil had done for the rest. Most definite.
But our situation was better.
Not quite as bad as that other ship they sang about. But one of her crew was still alive, of the ship that sailed with 75.
We all had a good share of the treasure, and we used it well or badly, depending on the person. Captain Smollett has now retired from the sea. Gray saved his money and started to become a ship's mate. He also got married and had children. Ben Gunn got £1,000, which he spent or lost in 19 days. Then he went to live in a village where he still sings in church every Sunday. We heard no more about Silver. That terrible seaman with one leg has at last gone out of my life. I hope he is somewhere living happily in this world, because I'm sure he will not be happy in the next. The silver and the weapons still lie buried, for all I know where Flint hid them. But I will never go back to that island, and the worst dreams I ever have are when I see that terrible rocky coast, or when I suddenly sit up in bed with the hard voice of Captain Flint still loud in my ears, screaming, "Pieces of me! Pieces of me!"
BádíniTreasure in Acre and the Hawk.